Welcome to the Catbird Quilts. I'm Kathy Martin, and I have a lot to say about my latest run to the thrift store. So I went to the thrift store yesterday, and it is half off close day at the Salvation Army thrift store near my house on Wednesday. And I had a couple of things I was looking for, nothing really super specific, but I recruited my oldest daughter to go with me, and we got the haul. So I wanted to show you all the stuff that I got because it's exciting, and maybe just give you a little bit of this is what I plan to do with this fabric. So let's get to it. So this first shirt is a huge red gingham, which when I say huge, my goodness, look how big that is. That is so much fabric. And so I've been looking for a good red gingham because I have a project that I want to do red gingham binding on. And so when I found this shirt, it is an XXL. I love the big and tall guys with good tasting clothes. So it's really, really long. There's a lot of fabric, so I'm gonna be able to make binding out of that and either use it in a quilt or some other project. So that was exciting. And because it was half off day, all of this fabric, obviously half off, but I can get more bang for my buck. This shirt is what I would call a low volume. It is white with just kind of like a charcoal gray grid on it. I have a project that I'm working on right now. It's actually a graduation quilt for the oldest. And so they're dark fabrics, and then I need the light fabrics to contrast them. So this is gonna work great with a dark green that I have. Younger daughter has gotten into the idea of the graduation quilt. So she's already scheming for her quilt, which will be next year, and she wants predominantly black. She actually wants black and white. So I'm always on the lookout right now for black fabric that has a subtle or interesting pattern on it. So a print that's black, predominantly black. So we found this shirt, and there's nothing really remarkable about it, except it's just kind of exactly what I'm looking for. And so it's a cotton, it's a good size, it's a large, I think. Actually, it's an extra large. So again, gonna get a decent amount of fabric out of that. And it's just a subtle pattern. This next one is another low volume. This one has a faint pink and kind of lilac or lavender cross running across it. So again, it's like a grid or graph paper. And it is just the perfect thing. I've been making a lot of baby quilts lately. I love baby quilts because you can do them so fast. And also the baby quilts I've made so far have been for people that I really love. And what I've discovered is that you have these pinks. They don't even have to be bright, but they need a subtle fabric to go with them. Surprisingly, a lot of quilts have a lot more white than you think of. You think of all of the colors because that's what your eye goes to, but there's a lot of white and a lot of low volumes in the background. And actually they call that the background fabric. So I think this is gonna make a nice background fabric for a lot of the pinks that I have for future baby quilts for girls. Even though I have no more baby quilts for girls. So it's like I'm gonna use this in the future. This, actually I could use those two together now that I'm looking at them. So that would be really, really nice. But this bright, huge, absolutely huge gingham. So this is like a monstrous gingham, but I just thought it was really pretty. And it is a large, and so that's that. Not a lot to say about that. This crazy shirt. So I'm doing research right now on how much fabric you can get out of each size shirt. And the one that I've been missing is a small. It's hard to actually find small men's shirts. Most of the time they're large, extra large, and my favorite XXL. So this color is ridiculous. It's so bright, but it's a small shirt. And so I picked it up. My oldest daughter was not a fan, and honestly it's not particularly soft, but it is very bright, but it served the purpose. And so this shirt was $2.99 before the half off. So I'm like, $1.50 to figure out how much fabric comes from a small shirt? Yes, please. So that's that. The next shirt is, I actually almost didn't buy the shirt. It is just a really nice color, and it is a really fine weave. And that was actually what made me buy it, because it's really soft and it's a really high quality shirt. So even though I don't have a plan for it, I know as I'm thinking through at the thrift store what colors I'm missing in my fabric stash. I don't have a lot of purple. Now I have two. I may never use that other one because it's obnoxious. But this lavender I think would be really pretty. And actually, as I'm doing the pink and then purple and then lavender and next is aqua, actually that would be a really pretty pastel quilt. So that's that. It too is very large. This is just, it's a great, I have a thing for gingham. I just have to stop and say I have a thing for gingham. So yet another gingham shirt. This one is a pale turquoise, and it is just a really good quality. It's very soft already, so it's been worn and washed enough that it's just really great to touch. And I'll use that probably in 1,000 ways. I could totally make an Easter quilt. I'm just looking at this out of the fabrics that I have. And then this shirt, okay, so it's gingham and it's turquoise, but this shirt is an XXL tall. This is like a dress. I could actually, it's not quite as long as that red gingham. I could put this on, and if it didn't swallow me whole, I could wear it as a dress. And in fact, I had a moment in the thrift store where I thought I could cut the sleeves out of that and I could make a really cute little dress out of it, or maybe a bathing suit cover-up. But it's just, it's a ton of fabric, and it's a really pretty color, and it made me smile, and it was half off, so I bought it. This shirt is, actually I think they're almost identical, not in pattern, but that's the shirt, so it's an Azad shirt. Greens are really tricky to find because they can go yellow, they can go blue. It's hard to find a good sage, it's hard to find a good grass green. And when you do quilting, a lot of times, so like pink baby quilt, well, if it's all pink, it looks like bubble gum. But if you put a nice green with it, it has that really soothing, like almost walk through grandma's garden kind of thing. So I bought the shirt just because it's a good green. Apparently it's not easy being green in any fabric. So anyway, so I got that. That was fun. This shirt is actually one of, I didn't have a lot of reason to go to the thrift store except that it's half off close day, but what I was looking for was that low volume to go with the bright colors of the graduation quilt. I pulled this shirt out of the rack, and it's just a very light tan and white, very fine stripe, but there is an overlay of orange polka dots on top of it. And I have a block in the graduation quilt that is just kind of an orange. And then I pulled it, click, 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 pulled it out. And it has orange thread, which is what made me, I didn't even notice the orange polka dots at first. But then I opened up the collar and look at that fabric. That is just the prettiest fabric. And the collar is pretty. And then just because I have seen this Denim and Flower by Ricky Singh, I'm a fan of the Denim and Flower shirts. Ricky's, I don't care how much the shirt would have been. If this had been $12, I probably would have bought the shirt. And it was actually at the Goodwill, so it wasn't the half off deal. But I know from experience that there are all these just beautiful little details in Denim and Flower shirts. And so I didn't have to think twice. So it was not half off, and I don't care. And then this last shirt, I think this is an ugly shirt, if I'm totally being honest. I think it's so ugly, but I don't have a lot of brown. And I have actually picked up quite a few oranges, goldens, and that's the color palette that some of members of my family like better than the baby pink gingham that I like. And so my oldest totally talked me into it. So, and she was like, Mom, you just said the other day that you don't have any browns in your fabric stash. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, it's a lot of orange. She's like, just get it. Just get it. She's always good to faithfully tell me to get it. And I will tell you from experience that when you go to the thrift store, if you see something and you don't get it, you probably won't see it again. Like, you can't do the, well, let me think about it and go back in a couple of days, because somebody will have bought it. Every now and again you can come back and it's there, but it's rare. And especially if it's a good quality shirt that is a good fabric or a good pattern, it really is one of a kind, and you're really not gonna see it in a couple of days. So she talked me into it, and we got home and my husband said, oh, I like that brown shirt. And I died because I think it's the ugliest shirt. So anyway, so that's my thrift store haul from yesterday, and I have to tell you, I did the math on it. And if I only do the math on the thrift store shirts, it comes out to $2.81 a shirt. If I throw in the 4 from the Goodwill that I did not pay half off on, which they still weren't expensive, they were like $4.99 or $5.99, I think, it comes out to like $3.80 a shirt. And so if an extra large shirt gives you every bit of a yard of fabric, that is $2.80 a yard of fabric. So that's crazy. So super exciting. Thanks for coming along with me as I just talk about my loot. I'm obviously a thrift store lover. There's always something. It's like an adventure. You just never know what you're gonna find. Or it's like the Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That's the thrift store. So that was my haul. Thanks for watching. I'm Kathy Martin, and this is the Catbird Quilts. Welcome to the Catbird. I almost said the Catbird Seats.